spot on their minds in Melbourne. It's 7 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Aroha Hathaway. Police have found a father and his 3-year-old son after they fled an alleged assault in Whangarei. 25-year-old Tehuru, or Tony Paratene, left a family violence incident yesterday, taking his son Kaui with him. Police were concerned for the young boy's safety, but he's unharmed. No charges have been laid. A 17-strong police team investigating a fight that claimed the life of a father of 4 in the far north. The 29-year-old died last night in Kaitaia Hospital after a dispute on a Fairburn Road property. 4 children aged between 3 to 13 witnessed the event, and police say they're traumatised. A 50-year-old man will appear in the Kaitaia District Court tomorrow. No charges have been laid. The host of a Christchurch party claims things only got out of hand when police showed up. A neighbour videoed many of the 250 party-goers flooding out onto Cranford Street, throwing bottles and road cones at police. Inside the house, graffitied walls were kicked in. But 18-year-old Brooke Johnson says despite the carnage, everyone at his impromptu celebration was well behaved.
It was pretty controlled inside the party. Like, everyone was just having a good time. I didn't see a single fight the whole night. Like, everyone was just having fun.
But police insist they only did what was necessary to maintain order. 11 people were arrested. 2 teenagers have robbed a Mr. Whippy ice cream truck at gunpoint at Auckland's Bastion Point. The van was parked at Michael Joseph Savage Memorial Park when the woman at ice cream seller was approached just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. She was robbed of cash and cards before the pair ran off towards Mission Bay. They're described as aged between 15 and 18 and were last seen wearing grey hoodies. Summer's well and truly over for most of the South Island as heavy snow's forecast for lower parts. About 15 centimetres is expected to fall from tonight in Fiordland, Southland and Clutha. Weather analyst Richard Green says that's unheard of so early in the year.
There is a concern in regards to livestock, but farmers have had the heads up on these possible weather conditions. But also alpine roads could be a little bit tricky as well. There are warnings out for the Homer Tunnel, also Lindis Pass.
And the early snowfall could be a good sign for ski areas. Both Mount Hutt and Coronet Peak are due to open in June. And an Auckland restaurant's doing its bit for war veterans in the lead up to Anzac Day by creating a Gallipoli dedication dessert. $2 from every dish sold at the Mercure Hotel's View restaurant will be donated to the Returned Services Association. Executive chef Kevin Blakeman says it'll be served up in a very special way.
I stumbled across an idea of actually serving it in old war mess tins. So we've got these beautiful pre-loved mess tins that we serve it in, and to boost it we serve the dish with a war story from a Gallipoli veteran as well.
Mr. Blakeman says the dish resembles the terrain at Gallipoli and includes Anzac biscuits, hokey pokey ice cream, honeycomb anglaise and Turkish delight. It's 7:03.
Radio Live News with the Skin Institute. Varicose veins, the cure's easier than you think. Have a free vein assessment at the Skin Institute. Radio Live Sport.
The Wellington Phoenix can return to the top of the A-League football ladder tonight if they can beat Melbourne City at Amy Park. Ernie Merrick's sides conceded 6 goals and been kept scoreless in their last 2 matches, and he doesn't want a repeat of that this evening.
If you lose a match but you're playing in your style and scoring goals, then you're always in with another chance of doing something. It's pretty disappointing we haven't scored in the last 2 games. Not good enough.
Kickoff's just about to get underway. A mismatch of epic proportions in the ANZ Netball Championships tonight. The winless Mainland Tactics go up against the unbeaten West Coast Fever in Blenheim. Shooter Nat Medhurst certainly isn't taking the Tactics lightly.
And we need to make sure that we respect our opposition no matter where they're sitting on the table and where we are as well, because as I said, we're coming up a different style of play, a team that are on their home court and are wanting to prove a bit of a point.
Centre pass is at 7:10. Masters leader Jordan Spieth isn't seeing it as an advantage that he's paired with Justin Rose rather than 3-time champion Phil Mickelson as he pursues his first green jacket in the final round at Augusta. Rose sank a birdie on the 18th in his 3rd round earlier today to be 12 under par, 1 shot ahead of Mickelson, but still 4 shots behind the 21-year-old. Spieth is trying to keep the focus on his own game.
I would have enjoyed playing with Phil. I played with Justin last week, so that's nice. Wouldn't have made much of a difference to me. Just maybe would have been a little bit louder. But other than that, that's about it.
Rose, on the other hand, is rapt to be in the final pairing.
Sometimes when you're in the group ahead, it can be great because you're putting pressure on the guys, but it also means that you're taking on shots that you may not need to at the time. So, obviously by playing with a leader, you know exactly where you stand in the golf tournament, and, it's a great position to be in.
Phil Mickelson's told the press he'll be wearing black tomorrow, the coloured shirt he wore on the final day when he won his 3 green jackets. I'm Aroha Hathaway. It's 7:05.
Radio Live Sport. For more, join us online at radiolive.co.nz.
Don't miss the Property Masters event from Property Tutors, Sunday, May 3rd. Book today and pay just $47 for 2 tickets. Plus, get over $2,500 of free bonuses. Go to propertymasters.co.nz to book your tickets now. That's propertymasters.co.nz.
Don't miss Harvey Norman's Autumn Comfort catalogue out now. Get unbelievable deals throughout the furniture and bedding departments. Plus, get no interest and no repayments for 17 months. Minimum purchase $500. See online for exclusions, terms and conditions. There's a store near you.
Lulu Acupuncture Clinic. Manage weight and feel great.
Get the summer body you've always wanted with Lulu Acupuncture Clinic. Lulu continues her ongoing success with implant acupuncture for weight management, with no hunger pangs and no excessive exercise. Enjoy summer with more energy and no bloated tummy. Go to luluacupuncture.co.nz or phone 377 1935. Use with a balanced diet and exercise.
Radio Live weather with Yui Car and Home Insurance. Call 0800 00 Yui to start a quote.
It'll be a pretty wet and cold night and Monday ahead of us. Northland to Kapiti, also Coromandel Bay, plenty in the central high country. Some cloudy periods, isolated showers, occasional rain again tomorrow with hail and thunderstorms possible. Gisborne, Hawke's Bay, Wairarapa, Wellington. Brief rain spreading northwards overnight and tomorrow morning. Heavy falls for Wellington and the Tararua Range. A few heavy showers for Wellington and Wairarapa tomorrow afternoon. Nelson scattered rain tonight, clearing later tomorrow. Canterbury, Marlborough, Otago, apart from Clutha, that is. A few showers today, showers and cold southerlies spreading northwards tomorrow too. Thunderstorms and hail near the coast. Snow down to 400 metres. Southland and Clutha, occasional showers, thundery with hail at times. Snow down to low levels tomorrow with cold southerlies. Bulla, Westland and Fiordland, rain with some heavy and thundery falls and snow to low levels in Fiordland tonight, clearing from the south tomorrow. And for the Chatham Islands, cloudy periods, rain later tomorrow afternoon. I'm Aroha Hathaway. It's 7:08 on Radio Live.
It's Sunday Social with Vaughan Davis.
And welcome to Sunday Social. Yes, I am Vaughan Davis, and welcome to the end of a week in which the Paul Henry Show launched onto every channel other than the Rangitoto. John Campbell's show capped off 10 years in the business by facing a comprehensive review. And in the biggest media news, forget about that stuff, in the biggest media news in this fine, fair country of ours, Radio Live's very own Sunday Social celebrated its 60th show on air. Yay, applause. As always, tweet at Vaughan Davis, and tonight, I think we've cracked it. You can watch the video live at youtube.com/Vaughan Davis TV. Tweet me if that's working or if it's not. And if you are following me on Twitter, you can watch video from over my shoulder. That's interesting. Via something called Periscope. Hey, what a show it's going to be. Later on, we've got first-time panelist and PR genius Louis Van Wyk with the week's best apps, websites, and unmissable social media and internet news. First, though,
The best things in life are free, but you can keep them for the best, and there's nothing more. That's what I want.
time was, if you had a business and wanted to raise some decent money to grow the thing, there were only two options. Go cap in hand to the bank, or if you are really serious, jump through any number of hoops and list on the share market. Well, three ways if you counted getting a dodgy loan from your Uncle Tony. These days, startup businesses, tech ones especially, tend to go straight for the rich and sometimes high-profile angel investors. This can work, and it has for a bunch of New Zealand companies, even if it does involve a lot of time on aeroplanes to the United States. Now, though, there's a new choice in town, and it lets businesses go directly to small investors with as little as $1,000 to spend in exchange for a slice of the company. It's called crowd-funded equity, and it's only recently become legal in New Zealand. One of the leaders in the space is Auckland-based Snowball Effect, and one of the team, Josh Daniel, joins us tonight. That's where you go, hi.
G'day, Javon.
How
nice
are you?
to be here with you. Very well, thank you.
Josh, you're wearing a very nice shirt. I like your shirt. And if you're not watching youtube.com/Vaughan Davis TV, tune in right now just to see Josh's shirt. Hey, tell me, Josh, what on earth is equity crowdfunding when it's at home?
It's simply the process of a company offering shares to the public. And this is new because only recently it's been done online. That's the first thing. The second thing is that companies now have the ability to go to the public, whereas previously they were restricted to, as you mentioned, angel investors or high net worth investors.
So are you really aiming at the person, with $500,000 in their pocket and just looking for something a little bit more interesting than, a term deposit?
Really, this is democratizing the ability to invest in early stage companies. So it could be the person with 500 grand in their pocket, or it could be simply someone with an interest in a particular industry or a particular piece of technology, or they want to support a business from their community, or they may know the people. So really it's opening up to everyone. At Snowball Effect, we're certainly targeting people who have made equity investments before, because we think they're more likely to understand the characteristics of investing in early stage companies.
So you mean people who've bought shares in companies before?
That's exactly right.
Okay. So what's the difference between this equity crowdfunding thing and crowdfunding itself, which a lot of the listeners might know from things like Kickstarter, send away $100 and get back a Pebble watch or something like that?
Sure. So on the face of it, they look very similar. You go online, you put some money towards something that you want to see happen. With rewards crowdfunding, which is what we call Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and so on, you get some kind of product in return. So you might get a t-shirt, you might get a CD, you might get an early prototype of a product like the Pebble watch. What you don't get is a financial product. You don't receive shares or some other kind of financial product. And because financial products are so much heavily regulated, rather than non-financial products, it's required a change in legislation to enable companies to go to the public and seek funds.
Yeah, well, I saw that. I saw on the website not Kickstarter, on snowballeffect.co.nz. You've been working there since 2013, but it's only been going this year, right? So what was going on in the meantime? Was it just waiting for the law to catch up with you guys?
That's exactly right. And, we've had a once-in-a-generation revival of our securities law, and this was part of it. So we're really lucky in New Zealand. We've got probably the best equity crowdfunding regulation in the world. By that, I mean it's the most liberal. Other countries are really scrambling to get regulation in place, but it's a lot of work to try and turn over that securities law. And we were just lucky we were doing that already in New Zealand. And so we had the chance to create some purpose-built regulation for this new market.
So liberal laws are great when you're a company like you trying to make a market. They're great when you're a startup company trying to raise money. And you know where I'm going with this. How great are they for the investor who, I've got $1,000 and I've been saving it in my teapot for the last 9 years, and now I'm going to invest it in, solar powered drones.
Yep. No, I mean, this is risky investing. If you look at the continuum of asset classes that you can invest in, this is down the risky end. And so we, as the market makers, need to be really clear to investors that you should be investing money that you can afford to lose. There's a huge variance in the risk profile of the companies that come through. So not all of them are very high risk, but some of them will be. So it's really up to us as the people that are the marketplaces for these kind of investments to make that point. So
apart from telling people, hey, buyer beware and read the fine print carefully, are you, as Snowball Effect, charged with making sure the investments are to any degree safe?
No, that's up to investors to make their own calls.
So do you have are there any hoops that they have to jump through to list on your site other than fill in the paperwork, or could I just put any old thing up there?
We're very careful about the companies that go on the platform. We essentially are making a judgment about whether we think their offer is likely to be interesting for our investor community.
Because you don't want it to fail, so you don't want a listing to fail because it makes you look bad, right? In the early days especially.
Exactly. And so we're purposely building an investor market from people that want to invest in this asset class because they like the risk return profile of these kind of investments. So we need to make sure there's deal flow going through the platform that is interesting for those kind of investors.
So what's in it for a company? So here I am. I don't know. I want to start a new radio station in competition to Radio Live. I don't really, but I need $2 million to do that. Why would I go through your platform rather than go to a bank or go to a share market listing? Because I guess those are my options if I don't have a rich Uncle Tony.
Sure. So for any company, they look at the options for raising funds, and they've got debt. For a lot of the companies we deal with, debt really isn't an option unless they're putting their house up as collateral. So they look at equity, and they can go to angels, they can go to friends and family, or now they can go to equity crowdfunding. Reasons that they might want to go to equity crowdfunding, number one, you get to access the wider capital markets. You get to go to the public. Number two is the publicity. So you get wide exposure in your target customer market, and you get these shareholder advocates who are going to push your brand. And the third one is efficiency. So companies can set the period of the offer, they can set the terms of the offer, and then you're raising funds, and it's all done within a short time frame.
So how short from me knocking on your door saying, hey, I need $2 million for my, let's call it Radio Vaughan, to me having the money in my hot little hands? How long is that?
It could be as quick as 2 months. It really depends.
2 months? Holy moly! My pie in the sky idea is sounding a little bit more attractive. I could leverage my media profile. And how does that come? I guess a bank loan you could get more quickly than that, but you've got sort of higher hurdles to jump over maybe. But what about the share market path? How long does that take for a point of comparison? If I wanted to list.
It takes a lot longer, but the thing that really puts it out of reach for small companies is the cost. The cost of all the advisors that you need involved with preparing a product disclosure statement, as it's now called, just puts it outside the realm of small companies.
Okay. I'm speaking to Josh Daniel from snowballeffect.co.nz. I'm Vaughan Davis. You're listening to Radio Live Sunday Social. Back soon.
Take Radio Live with you wherever you go. Download the Radio Live app for iPhone and Android now.
Radio Live. Don't miss the Property Masters event from Property Tutors, Sunday, May 3rd. Book today and pay just $47 for 2 tickets. Plus, get over $2,500 of free bonuses. Go to propertymasters.co.nz to book your tickets now. That's propertymasters.co.nz.
Don't miss Harvey Norman's Autumn Comfort catalogue out now. Get unbelievable deals throughout the furniture and bedding departments. Plus, get no interest and no repayments for 17 months. Minimum purchase $500. See online for exclusions, terms and conditions. There's a store near you.
Argo 4 from Numa Health is formulated to support balanced uric acid levels in the joints and support joint comfort.
He was hobbling all the time with the gout. Now he's walking freely, completely.
If you think Argo 4 could help you, call now to get 10% off. 0800 459 459.
It turned his life around. He just thinks it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Always read the label, take as directed, and if symptoms persist, see your health professional. Argo 4. Go to goforhealth.co.nz or call 0800 459 459.
So mate, why is Herbal Ignite still New Zealand's #1 natural sexual supplement to support healthy erections? It's been around 15 years.
It's simple, Jeff. Ignite's formula is tested and trusted. Tens of thousands of Kiwi men rely on Ignite to support their sex lives.
Yeah, but I don't like taking pills.
The great thing about Ignite is it's not a drug. It's a 100% natural supplement for sexual health and stamina. Helps you feel like you used to. More spontaneous.
I certainly could do with something to reignite me.
Use it or lose it, mate. Jump in and get their buy 2, get 2 free deal today.
Phone now on 0800 44 6639 and you'll receive 4 bottles for the price of 2. Order in the next 3 hours. Delivery is free.
That's 0800 44 6639 for the buy 2, get 2 free Ignite deal.
And the guys don't have it all their own way. Now there's Ignite for Women, rainforest herbs to support libido and normal hormonal balance.
Call 0800 44 6639 for Ignite for men and women. If the phones are busy, keep trying. Always read the label and take as directed. If symptoms persist, see your health professional.
From 13,000 feet, you can see over 80 kilometres away. When you jump to the rescue for SPCA Auckland, you'll be free falling for 45 seconds and reach speeds of up to 200 kilometres per hour. Raise $880 for the animals and you'll get to do all of this for free. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Oh, that was awesome.
So join Team SPCA Auckland for a tandem skydive on Saturday, May 9. Register now at spcaauckland.org.nz or call us on 256 2520.
Oh, I can't go to work today.
Why?
Because the washing machine's busted again and I have no clean clothes.
Oh, stink. There's no breakfast either.
Did you guys eat all the food again?
No, the fridge is on the blink again.
I'm moving out of this flat.
when I have something to wear.
Split the rent with your flatmates when you rent appliances from Mr. Rental. There's no hassles or breakdowns because Mr. Rental can fix any problems free, plus deliver and install free.
Does Mr. Rental rent clothes?
No. Call Mr. Rental 0800 111 313 or go to mrrental.co.nz.
Call Mr. Rental.
Radio Live. Auckland 100.6 FM. It's Sunday Social, an hour dedicated to social media with Vaughan Davis.
And welcome back to Sunday Social with me in the studio tonight from snowballeffect.co.nz. Josh Daniel. Welcome back, Josh.
Thank you, Vaughan.
And welcome back to everyone watching along on YouTube, youtube.com/Vaughan Davis TV. It's, to be honest, it's 90% Josh and 10% me, the camera angle. But as I've said before, his shirt is quite a lot flashier than mine. Hey, you've been in business for how many months, Josh?
Just entered our 8th month yesterday.
8th month. And how many offers have you run in that time?
We're on our 6th at the moment.
So it's not a heck of a lot yet, is it?
No, I mean, I guess to put that in context, there's been just over 600 companies that have expressed interest in raising funds through equity crowdfunding with us. A lot of them aren't suitable for raising funds through equity crowdfunding. Some of them simply aren't investment ready. But our approach is to go slowly and carefully and make sure that we're putting deal flow on the platform that our investors want to see.
One thing you can't be accused of is running boring investments. I mean, you've had a brewery, you've had a wine company, and I will disclose that's my client, In Vivo Wines, because my day job is advertising. We may talk a little bit about them later on. You've had a drone company. You've got a cystic fibrosis ventilator going on. There's no, I want to open a warehouse facility in Penrose. There's none of that.
There's not. And the main reason is that people simply may not want to invest in those kind of things. So we certainly want to provide deal flow that people actually want to consider investing in.
One of the things you provide companies who list on your site, Snowball Effect, is a sort of a ready-made bunch of customers, right?
That's exactly right.
So the platform, I guess you could say, suits the kind of product that you can actually go out and buy one. So a beer company or a wine company, or maybe at a stretch, a drone company.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the UK market, which is the oldest equity crowdfunding market, the three sectors which are best represented with successful offers are food and beverage, retail offers, and internet-based businesses. They typically are businesses that people can buy the product or people can use it. So yeah, I think there is some truth in that. But we certainly want this to be a platform where any good investment opportunity will get taken up by our investor database. And I think one really interesting offer for us in the early days was Carbonscape, which is a clean tech business.
Yeah.
There was no particular reward that they could offer, but investors bought into the vision of the company and they bought into that risk reward profile and that opportunity. And so, yeah, we were really pleased to see that an offer like that could get away.
Is there an extent to which the companies that list first will do best? Because there's a novelty. Going way back, I remember the early days of Amazon. You'd buy books on Amazon just because you were buying books on Amazon, not because they were necessarily the books you really wanted, but the idea of a book coming from America and this guy knocking on your door and delivering the package was novel and interesting. And you did it just because. Is there a degree of that happening at the moment?
I think there's some truth in that. I mean, the first offer is always going to get more attention, but I think that's counterbalanced by the fact that the investor awareness is growing day by day.
True.
So the investor market is always developing. So, obviously there's a finite number of potential investors in New Zealand, but we've got a long way to go with the awareness before we reach anywhere near that.
Yeah. So if I do want to invest, if I ever did have that mythical $1,000, firstly, is that always the minimum? I know it was on one I looked at.
The minimum is set by the company.
Okay.
So we've had anywhere from $100 to $1,000 as the minimum investment size.
So let's say I've got that $100 and I'm not going to spend it on 4 cups of Ponsonby coffee, but I'm going to make an investment instead. Those words will come back to haunt me when it comes true. How do I go about doing this?
So you go online and all the offer...
Online? You're just crazy.
I know. It's all happening there these days. So you go online, you read the offer information. You can ask questions if you want to find out further information from the company. If you get to a point where you're comfortable investing, then you simply type in the amount that you'd like to invest. You digitally sign the subscription agreement, and often that comes with a shareholder agreement. You provide certain details that are required to be collected for certain regulatory requirements, and then you're done.
So it sounds like a 5-minute process, right? Well, apart from the thoroughly reading every word in the investment statement.
Exactly.
Which is a bit, I'm not going to say it's a bit like the, Apple, new iOS terms and conditions, but there's a lot of words there for some of those offers. And do people really read them?
We look at the analytics a lot to see what people are doing. And what we usually find is that the normal browsing process is someone looks through the overview tab, which contains basically an overview of the whole company.
Yep.
They watch the video and then they skip to the financial
So there's
section.
always a video, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, which is a very sort of crowdfundy thing.
Yeah, I think, you're doing this online, so you're not necessarily having the opportunity to go and meet the people. So this is the closest you get. You get to see what they're like in person.
Can you ask questions of the company?
Absolutely.
During the process? So, and is that open? So is it like an open comments and question thing, or is it private?
Correct. It's open to anyone who is a member of Snowball Effect. So you can view the questions that Vaughan Davis has asked. You can view the questions that anyone else has asked.
Okay. And is that questioning thing popular? Does it get much pickup?
Yeah. Every offer, there's been around 10 questions.
That's not a heck of a lot. Well, let's give that some context. So, on average, let's step through your half dozen offers that you've done. So, what's the range of money that's been raised by these companies?
So, the smallest raise was around 500,000, and the largest at 2 million.
Okay, and how many investors are you looking at in each of those? And therefore, what's the average kind of money, the average sort of check that people are writing?
In each offer, there's been between 200 and 300 investors,
Mhm.
and the average amount invested is usually sitting between $4,000 and $5,000.
Okay, so it's not Montgomery Burns money, not really, is it?
In every offer that has closed so far, there have been large individual investments, and we make sure that the offer is going to appeal, or we try and select so that the offer will appeal to those kind of investors, because they are the ones that kick the offer down the road. It's not the $1,000 investors that get you to 2 million. It is more
the chunky
Burns.
ones. So they all need a chunky one, and I'm guessing the companies are in parallel doing what they would have always done, gone to their rich friends, associates, friends of friends, crazy uncles, and said, "Hey, we're raising money. Just don't write us a check. Go to Snowball Effect."
Exactly right.
One of the similarities between crowdfunding equity and normal old crowdfunding is the idea of a threshold that you have to reach below which it just doesn't happen, right? Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so there was this idea in the early days of crowdfunding that if you get to around 30% of your funding target, you're very likely to go all the way. I think there's a few different factors creeping in there, and I don't think it's necessarily true for equity crowdfunding, particularly in a small market like New Zealand. I think that 30% rule is much more important on a crowded platform like Kickstarter, where there's a lot of things to wade through. But if there is a smaller amount of deal flow, I don't think that's necessarily the case. We've had a couple of offers go up with a decent chunk of funds already in the bag from friends, customers, whoever it may be, and some that have gone out on basically zero. And both ways have succeeded so far.
But in every case, there's a line that they've got to cross before the investment is live. Is that correct?
Right, before it goes unconditional. That's right.
Yeah. So if I Vaughan Davis Radio, I want my $2 million, I might set that line at $500,000. And as people pledge money, essentially, it's not given to me, or it doesn't turn into shares unless enough people get it across the line, right?
That's exactly right. And the idea is that you've said in your offer, with that $500,000, I'm going to buy some equipment, I'm going to hire a couple of people, and with the $2 million, I'm going to get a better premises, better guests on the show, and so on. And if you don't raise that $500,000, then investors don't know what you're going to spend it on, and they haven't necessarily bought into that plan.
Yeah.
They bought into the $500,000 plan.
And I guess you're not going to say the protection word, but they're getting a degree of protection from the wisdom of the crowd, because if I just give you $1,000 and that's it, I was the only one. But if 500 people give $1,000, perhaps there's a bit of legitimacy to the offer. So if I did get funded, I might hire you because you're good on the radio. You have a nice shirt. Josh, personally, how did you end up working for a company like this? Why didn't you go work for a bank or something secure?
I wasn't a pretty secure job originally. So I used to be a lawyer, and I branched out from that when I got more excited about working in smaller businesses, and I set up a freelance business doing that. And it was through that I met the three guys that had the idea of Snowball Effect. And this is Francis Reed, Richard Allen, Simeon Burnett. And at that stage, it was really working with the FMA and MB, looking at what the shape of the regulations may be. And so I just met these guys by chance through a mutual acquaintance. And so it was luck, really. But I'd always been interested in alternative finance, the rise of institutions like Kiva, and then Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
and then equity was always going to be the next
And then suddenly, out of the blue, it turns out New Zealand is actually one of the best places in the world to be doing this because of what foreigners sometimes describe as our nimble legislature, for better or worse. So FMA, the Financial Markets Authority, and MB, the Ministry of something or other, they were cool with it? They were open-armed or initially resistant?
A lot of thought went into it, and it was really actually a collaborative process working with both those agencies when we were talking about what the shape of the legislation may be. And it really has to work for all the three stakeholders. So you've got investors, you've got the companies raising funds, and you've got the market makers, the platforms. And the regulation has to work for all three groups to make this market possible. And we've been doing a lot of market validation work, and we thought we knew what needed to be there to make this market work, and they were very open ears to that. So we actually really enjoyed working with them.
And it turns out it seems to be working. So if I went to snowballeffect.co.nz tonight, straight after the shift, not to list my new radio station, but to see what I could invest in, what would I see there right now?
So you'd see the 5 completed offers, and you'd see the one current offer, which is called Breathe Easy. You mentioned it earlier. It's a company that's developing a treatment for cystic fibrosis.
Okay. And now that everyone out there has already invested in my client company in Vivo's wine offer, they can go invest in the cystic fibrosis inhaler. Hey, Josh, thank you so much for your time tonight on Sunday Social.
Very welcome. Pleased to be here.
After the break, I would say, folks, that if you want to hear that interview all the way back, go to radiolive.co.nz under shows and Sunday Social, and you'll hear not just that, but every one of the other 60 feature interviews we've done over the last year or so. After the break, the man who once tried, I can't believe I've got him in the studio with me, the man who once tried to blind Nelson Mandela. You make me sick, Louis Van Wyk. Back soon.
Paul Henry, your news, interviews, and quite a bit of fun.
Will this save the taxpayer money, and will it improve outcomes for prisoners?
Well, that's certainly the objective. I mean,
no, but will it do that? Will it do that? Because you're making a decision now. You're making a decision for the country. Will it do that?
We made that decision 3 years ago when we decided to go ahead with this public-private partnership. And so Serco have a contract to deliver outcomes for prisoners that are 10% better than what the Department of Corrections is currently delivering in terms of reducing recidivism. And so that's a significant gain if they can achieve that. It's an important goal. And there are quite significant penalties if they fail on core security requirements, like someone escaping a prison or something like that.
The future of mornings has arrived. Paul Henry, 6 a.m. weekdays. TV3, paulhenry.co.nz, and here on Radio Live.
Control your own future with Property Tutors, New Zealand's leading property education company. If you're interested in property investment, their Masters Events is for you. Real people making a real future, like Daryl.
I was looking for something to change my life. We'd just built a house. I sent my son. He was that enthused about the whole thing that my wife and I both signed up. Since we've started with Property Tutors, we hold like about 6 properties now that we rent on that side of it, and we're trading 6 or 8 houses a month. This is definitely something that provides, and it's not that hard. Once you get yourself going, it's quite a good way to make money.
The Property Masters Event from Property Tutors, Sunday, May 3rd, featuring property investment experts Sean Wood, Steve Goody, and other industry leaders. For tickets, call 0800 888 676. That's 0800 888 676.
Dear A1 Hearing, thanks again for my new hearing aids.
Harold?
A1 Hearing has hearing aids from just $650. It's been amazing. I can hear the birds again. You heard right. $650.
Harold!
Call A1 Hearing today, 278 1021. Or now you can see them at Shawcare North Cross. Just one thing.
Harold?
How do you turn her down?
Harold!
Coming there. A1 Hearing, now open at Shawcare North Cross. Call 278 1021.
Every good investor knows diversity is the key. Real estate, stocks, but what about gold and silver? If you've never thought about silver and gold, talk to Regal Bullion today. As authorised distributors of the Perth Mint, Regal Bullion has been trusted with silver and gold since 1972. They have stock on hand to be delivered immediately, or they can hold it for you. Most experts agree silver and gold should be 10% of your portfolio. So invest with authority. Call Regal Bullion today on 0800 881 888.
Confused between where you should use oil and water-based paints? Get the answer to this and other problems when you purchase your paint from the staff or myself at Colour Plus Trend Decor. I'm a tradesman with years of experience and here to help. So come on into Colour Plus Trend Decor, the paint and wallpaper specialist, where the people who run the store own the store. Corner of East and Elliott Street, Papakura. Open weekdays 7:30 till 5 and Saturdays 8:30 till 2.
Building or renovating, do it with glass in mind. Do it with glass, do it with Euroglass.
Hi guys, rugby player Ben Smith here, and I'm all about taking the smarter option. And Euroglass has a lot of smart options for your home, like Euroglass frameless glass showers, balustrades, splashbacks, and more. To find out more about these great Euroglass products made using Viridian glass, call 624-0610. That's 624-0610.
Euroglass, the innovators in glass products.
Don't miss the Property Masters event from Property Tutors, Sunday, May 3rd. Book today and pay just $47 for 2 tickets. Plus, get over $2,500 of free bonuses. For tickets, call 0800 888 676. That's 0800 888 676.
Radio Live. Auckland 100.6 FM. It's Sunday Social with Vaughan Davis.
200 dicks on the dance floor. 200 dicks on the dance floor.
Too many dicks.
200 dicks on the dance floor.
Too many dicks.
Too many dicks on the dance floor.
Too many dicks.
Going to the party, sipping on the...
And welcome back to Sunday Social. Too many dicks on the dance floor. Indeed, I have made a personal promise to myself to play that song every time I have no ladies on the show. Welcome, Louis.
Thank you, Vaughan. It's great to be here.
Hey, PR professional Louis Van Wyk once helped people love telecom for a living. Wow. And these days heads his own PR shop. Pravda means truth, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. What few people know is that he once attempted to blind Saint Nelson Mandela. How you bastard.
Yeah, it wasn't one of my proudest moments, Vaughan.
What happened?
Back in South Africa, I was a journalist and I worked for a construction magazine, and there was a press conference with Nelson Mandela for the groundbreaking of our new constitutional court. And I took the office camera along, which I didn't really know very well, took some shots, turned off the flash, and then when I turned the camera off and on again, the flash came back on. So we did a bit of a walk around and I took a couple of shots and the flash went off, and then I got escorted away by some Secret Service guys.
Did they do that thing where they drag you backwards so your heels are like leaving 2 little tracks through the dirt?
No, they were quite subtle about it. They just came up to me and said, okay, you've got to go back to your seat now.
Can't be trusted with the camera. Well, you can be trusted with the microphone. I wonder if Corin's got that music ready to play. I wonder if he's got that clip. Does he have that clip? He has. I'm going to play a clip. Here we go.
Oh, hey there, bro. Do you like watching video? Well, search no longer. Introducing New Zealand's best streaming website in the world. Netflix.co.nz. We've got over 6 videos streaming right now. We've got movies. Lord of the Rungs 2. Black Sheep. Lord of the Rungs.
Yes, indeed, Netflix. That may be all that we're left with if this current legal stoush between television and the internet comes to its conclusion. So this week saw a bunch of New Zealand broadcasters, including MediaWorks' own TV3, in a rare show of unity as they took legal action to try and stop New Zealand internet service providers from offering something called global mode. What does this all mean, and how does this affect whether or not I can see Mad Men on the day it came out?
Well, Vaughan, the only way you can watch Mad Men on the day that it comes out is if you're a Sky subscriber. So if you don't...
I cancelled my Sky.
Well, then you're out of luck. Which illustrates the whole problem. So the thing is with all these broadcasters, including Telecom, Spark, who owns Lightbox, is that they've spent a lot of money buying the rights to all these TV shows. So naturally, they want to make a return on their investment. However, other ISPs, internet service providers, are creating a way for us to bypass geographic restrictions on content.
So I know about this because I'm with Orcon, and with Orcon, they have a thing called global mode.
Global mode, yeah.
And I can pretend that I'm in other countries when it comes to connecting to especially other video streaming services. In fact, I think the only thing I have to do is put in a made-up American zip code, and of course we all put 90210, and it seems to be quite. They've got a lot of customers from Beverly Hills. So is that what the TV stations are trying to stop?
Yes. So global mode makes it easy for you to access content from anywhere in the world, really, which otherwise would be restricted to New Zealand. And the reason it's restricted is because certain broadcasters here have the rights to that content in New Zealand. So obviously they want to get as many people on, as much of a bigger audience as possible for the content they've paid for. So global mode is a way to bypass all the restrictions, and basically you can sign up to Netflix in the US.
Oh, I have.
And watch whatever you like.
But to be perfectly clear, I'm still paying Netflix. I'm paying whatever it is, $12 US a month or something. So I'm buying the stuff from them. They're paying the studios. The artist is still being paid. What's the problem here?
Exactly. Well, from our perspective as consumers, we can't see a problem, can we? The problem is that for the broadcasters, again, they have rights to that content in New Zealand. So as far as they're concerned, everyone in New Zealand should only access the content through them.
So is it a losing battle, though? Because one of the things that has been made clear in this argument, and I guess a side effect of this is that it's got people thinking about global mode who'd never even heard of it. So it's sort of done a bit of an ad for it. But one of the things that's highlighted is that, the Netflix that I subscribe to in New Zealand, and they made a lot of noise and they launched, 3 weeks ago, is not the same as the Netflix I can subscribe to from the States.
No, I've got some stats here for you, Vaughan. So the Netflix here has got just over 1,100 titles compared to over 8,000 in the US.
Holy, I knew it was different. I didn't know it was that bad.
So there's a vast difference. And not only that, some really big headline pieces of content is not available here. So take House of Cards, for instance, which is produced by Netflix. It's their own show, but you can't get it through Netflix New Zealand.
So they've sold the rights to their own show to someone else to screen here, so they can't show it themselves.
That's right. But what gets my goat is that...
I like goats.
You do. Season 3 of House of Cards, you cannot get in New Zealand at the moment. So someone's got the rights. I'm not sure who it is. I suspect it might be MediaWorks. But it's nowhere. It's not available anywhere. You can watch seasons 1 and 2 on Lightbox or on QuickFlix, but you cannot get season 3.
It's interesting because programmers in different hemispheres have different needs. So of course in American winter they want to run their TV shows because everyone's at home watching TV, but that's New Zealand summer, so we don't want to run it then, and vice versa. So there's a real challenge here, isn't there?
Well, yeah, I mean, but that
the idea of simultaneous release just doesn't work for a broadcaster.
But in this case, for instance, with the House of Cards season 3, it came out in February, so the seasonal things don't really have an effect on that particular show. And being consumers of mostly American content, we have to get used to their schedules and their times, really, because the fans, people like us, want to see the stuff as soon as possible. And the reason is because TV watching is becoming more social. You go on Twitter, go on Facebook. If that show is already aired overseas,
and being talked about it, what the plot twists
exactly.
are. You know which dragon ate which dwarf on Game of Thrones or whatever it is. Hey, but for my money, the House of Cards to watch is the BBC one. I couldn't possibly comment. It's absolutely brilliant.
And that is available on Netflix New Zealand.
That absolutely is. So worth seeking out. Now, no, in Australia, going one step beyond this is not just signing up for Netflix and saying you're in the wrong country, but actual streaming and torrenting and pirating and stealing stuff, which does not happen under my roof, Louis. The studios are going hard in Australia after people who've done this, and they've chosen, I don't know why, they've chosen one particular movie, Dallas Buyers Club, which I haven't seen. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm certainly not going to torrent it. 4,736 internet users in Australia stole it, and the studios are going after them. They're going, okay, this person downloaded it. I want their details. I'm going to take them to court, which is pretty extreme.
Yeah, and that what New Zealanders need to realize is that we've got a similar law here, also with the 3 strikes
Yeah.
warning.
So your ISP, if your son or daughter is doing this, your ISP could come knocking and say, "Hey, your household, your internet account is stealing stuff. We're going to hand you over to the studios."
And there's really no excuse for it for things like big Hollywood movies. I mean, you can get you can watch Dallas Buyers Club through QuickFlix or iTunes for $6 or $7. So really, no need to download that illegally.
It's easy for you and me to say that sitting here, and I don't know, we're 30-something and 40-something, but I suspect if you're in your teens listening to this, you've got a very different take on these things. Hey, I want to talk quickly about an event that you're running here in Auckland, a live event with actual what internet people once called the meat space. An event in the meat
as in flesh meat, or meat
as
and
in
greet?
No, meat as in flesh, or in this case it's meat and greet. Auckland Social Media Club, and focusing on scammers. Tell me about that.
Yeah, sure. So yes, Social Media Club Auckland, Smackle as we like to call it. Everyone likes a good smackle. Is a free monthly event and really targeted at our digital comms people. And it's frequented by around about 200 to 300 people every month. It's a free event for teens, so anyone can come along to the events, and we've been running it in its current format for about a year, 2 years now, thanks to Vodafone, who's hosting it as a venue. So next Wednesday, the 15th, we've got an event called Scams and Conspiracies.
Or have you really? I hear you haven't. I hear it's all just made up. There is no event.
Well, you'll have to come and find out.
How do I come? How do I do it?
How do you do it? Well, come along. Go on to www.smckl.com, and you can register for the event there. Just add in your details and come along. Like I said, it's free. You don't have to pay. We've got free pizzas and beers and wine and soft drinks, and hopefully you can meet someone cool, have something cold to drink, and learn something new.
Sounds absolutely awesome. smckl.com. The event is next Wednesday here in Auckland. I want to really quickly talk about this one more thing before the break. This just blew my mind. Did you read this, or was I the first person to tell you about this next one? Amazon launches goats as a service.
I actually saw that and I thought of you, Will.
It's funny. Everyone who sees anything to do with goats on the internet thinks of me. It's kind of cute. In which city is it? Seattle. In Seattle, Washington, you can go to Amazon.com, put it in goat hire, and they will arrange the rental of one or more goats to do, I was going to say to do whatever you want with, but actually to look after your weeds. Isn't that absolutely brilliant?
The weeds growing in
the weeds, the bad weeds, not those other sort of weeds.
Okay.
So my friend Duncan in Wellington, he's sort of ahead of the game on this. He's been lending out his goat for about the last 2 years for weed choked Wellington Hill suburbs to get the goatee treatment. But now Amazon is in on the act. It's got a thing called home services, which is mainly aimed at things like I need someone to clean my pool or someone to water blast my driveway. But they've got a company called Rent a Ruminant, which I think is something that chews the cud. I think a ruminant is advertising goats as a service. Only in Seattle, Washington at the moment, but I've got my thinking cap on. I've got 5 goats with not much to do, so you may see that launching right here. I should crowdfund it.
Yeah,
I should put it on snowballeffect.co.nz. Goats as a service. All I need is $2 million. This is Radio Live, Sunday Social. Back soon.
Paul Henry, your news, interviews, and quite a bit of fun.
A new study has revealed Islam as the world's fastest growing religion. I don't think many people will be surprised by that. It's expected to overtake Christianity as the largest faith on our planet by the year 2100. We are joined by Massey University's religious historian, Peter Lynham. What was the most surprising thing in this study, do you think?
Decline of the non-affiliated. I think that is really interesting because, in New Zealand, the trend is exactly the opposite, where we see a growing proportion of New Zealanders who are unaffiliated. And yet globally, you look at the picture and it's totally different.
The future of mornings has arrived. Paul Henry, 6 a.m. weekdays. TV3, paulhenry.co.nz, and here on Radio Live.
Control your own future with Property Tutors, New Zealand's leading property education company. If you're interested in property investment, their Masters event is for you. Real people making a real future, like Daryl.
I was looking for something to change my life. We'd just built a house. I sent my son. He was that enthused about the whole thing that my wife and I both signed up. Since we started with Property Tutors, we hold like about 6 properties now that we rent on that side of it, and we're trading 6 or 8 houses a month. This is definitely something that provides, and it's not that hard. Once you get yourself going, it's quite a good way to make money.
The Property Masters event from Property Tutors, Sunday, May 3rd, featuring property investment experts Sean Wood, Steve Goody, and other industry leaders. For tickets, call 0800 888 676. That's 0800 888 676.
Dear A1 Hearing, thanks again for my new hearing aids.
Harold?
A1 Hearing has hearing aids from just $650. It's been amazing. I can hear the birds again. You heard right. $650.
Harold!
Call A1 Hearing today, 278 1021. Or now you can see them at Shawcare North Cross. Just one thing.
Harold?
How do you turn her down?
Harold!
Coming there. A1 Hearing, now open at Shawcare North Cross. Call 278 1021.
Every good investor knows diversity is the key. Real estate, stocks, but what about gold and silver? If you've never thought about silver and gold, talk to Regal Bullion today. As authorised distributors of the Perth Mint, Regal Bullion has been trusted with silver and gold since 1972. They have stock on hand to be delivered immediately, or they can hold it for you. Most experts agree silver and gold should be 10% of your portfolio, so invest with authority. Call Regal Bullion today on 0800 881 888.
Do you want to be a property millionaire, retire younger, richer? It's the perfect time. Invest in the boiling Auckland property market. Safari Group offers property investments from only $215,000 zero rated. These total yields up to 6.9% won't last. You must attend this free exclusive event by Donha Real Estate. Remove the mystery. Call 0800 888 000, 0800 888 000. Free. Book now. donhaevents.co.nz. Licensed real estate agent.
Confused between where you should use oil and water-based paints? Get the answer to this and other problems when you purchase your paint from the staff or myself at Colour Plus Trend Decor. I'm a tradesman with years of experience and here to help. So come on into Colour Plus Trend Decor, the paint and wallpaper specialist, where the people who run the store own the store. Corner of East End Elliott Street, Papakura. Open weekdays 7:30 till 5 and Saturdays 8:30 till 2.
Don't miss the Property Masters event from Property Tutors, Sunday, May 3rd. Book today and pay just $47 for 2 tickets. Plus, get over $2,500 of free bonuses. Go to propertymasters.co.nz to book your tickets now. That's propertymasters.co.nz.
Radio Live. Auckland 100.6 FM. It's Sunday Social. Everything you need to know about social media with Vaughan Davis.
Don't worry, be happy.
Yes, indeed. Don't worry, be happy. Welcome back to Sunday Social. There are apparently 1.5 bazillion apps out there in the apposphere, but luckily Louis and I have spent all week sifting through the poop to find you the lovely tasty kernels of corn that are the downloadable apps of the week. Before that, though, Louis, you were interested in the goat story. It got you thinking.
Yes, so it got me thinking about something I saw online this week. So talking about services that you can hire, there's actually in my old country of South Africa, a company that offers all kinds of services that can be performed in the nude. So
let's just dial back the accent and say that slowly. All sorts of services that can be performed
in the nude,
naked,
or even semi-naked. If that's
what sort of services?
Cleaners, lawyers, accountants, computer geeks.
Would you not get struck off for being a naked lawyer?
Well, you're not going to go into court naked, but in a consultation.
Oh, it's getting boring now.
You could, yeah. But what's interesting about it are the T's and C's. So one of them is that staff will not do any cleaning work.
Do the T's and C's in this case stand for term and condition, or do they stand for something else?
Terms and conditions.
Okay.
So staff won't do any cleaning work that will leave them looking or feeling dirty. And I found this interesting. Domestic clients must be sober.
Fair enough. It's all on for young and old in South Africa now. You know, pretty much if you let some crazy snapper with a camera he doesn't know how to use in front of Nelson Mandela, all bets are off. Hey, let's talk about some apps and websites and bits and pieces, because this is not the nude cleaning show. This is Sunday Social. Gallipoli coming up quite soon, and I noticed in reception there's a tin of biscuits with my name on them, so I'm guessing that's related to that somehow. You've got an app for that.
Actually, Vaughan, I've got two apps. So one, first app is one made by the Australian Broadcasting Corporation called Gallipoli First Day. And it's a very interactive, very engaging look at, as it says, the first 24 hours of the Gallipoli campaign, the landings. And what's interesting about this, you can scroll along a timeline to see what happened exactly when. There are some animated videos that show you some of the key events. They've got interviews with some of the veterans that were recorded with
some time ago, I'm guessing.
Yeah, documentary a while ago.
Because you forget that there's actually, audio recordings been around, for 100 years. So all this stuff is still captured, right?
They've even got audio of diary readings from diaries from the time, read by people like Hugo Weaving.
From Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Of Mr. Course. Anderson, I believe.
Mr. Anderson.
So yeah, I think this is a good app for anyone who's really interested in history. It's a good time to explore what happened, obviously with 100-year anniversary. So anyone is a history buff. There's a lot of content there that you can delve into, and even the younger generation will be interested with all the graphics.
So the name of it is Gallipoli First Day. I had a look at it, and it's only for tablets. It's not for phones. So it's for your iPad or for your Android tablet.
Yeah, I would recommend it on a tablet anyway.
It's kind of big and rich.
Made for that.
Yeah. And what was your second app?
Well, it's actually a New Zealand one. So it's called Ngā Tapuwae Gallipoli, and it's made by the Ministry for Culture and Heritage, and it's also has some interactive maps, audio tours, also letters and diaries, some photographs. But what this one does, it's got some travel guides to the area. So it's designed for people who are going to go to Gallipoli and actually do some of the walks around there. So you can get guides on the walks throughout the area.
So that's kind of cool. So it's got virtual audio guides and bits and pieces. So when you make that pilgrimage, probably not this year because I think it's pretty tightly controlled and next to booked out. That is the ideal app to take with you. What's the name of it again?
It is the Ngā Tapuwae Gallipoli app.
Ngā Tapuwae Gallipoli. And both of those will be free. And of course, if you do want to travel to the other side of the world, these days you don't go, strolling down to the high street and knock on the door of the travel agent. Oh, no, you don't. You go to a travel website. And I thought they were all much the same, but you've got a favorite.
I've got a favorite, Vaughan. Expedia is a favorite of mine. Just this week, I've booked some holiday accommodation, and I tried a few sites, used Expedia, and used the Air New Zealand Holidays app, website. And the difference in the experience between the two was quite vast. You get a lot more information. It's much more rich on Expedia. You can get a preview of the rooms that you want to book. Where I really struggled with the Air New Zealand Holidays site, even for images to come up at a decent size. And of course, with Expedia, you also get an app that you can download. So your itinerary all shows on your phone or your tablet. So when you're out, you get a notification saying, well, you're going to be checking into this hotel at
that's pretty cool because
12 a.m. tomorrow.
None of that
12 p.m.
print everything out and put it in your back pocket malarkey that everyone used to do.
It's in your hands.
So I always used to use, this shows how long since I've taken a holiday. I always used to use whatif.com, and I was wondering what had happened to that. So I went and had a look, and then I went and had a look at Expedia, and they look really similar.
Yeah, so
because do you know why?
Expedia bought Whatif.
Expedia bought Whatif.
They're virtual clones of each other now. So it's so Whatif was the site you used to go to a few years ago, probably when you last took a holiday.
Yeah, you got it. Can you see it in my face?
Yeah, you need a break.
I do need a break. I do. Once my Snowball Effect listing for Radio Vaughan goes live, I get through that $2 million. I'll spend a cheeky $200,000 on a holiday. Are you allowed to do that? You're probably not allowed to admit to that. Hey, but the thing about these websites, because I was thinking about this, I did a bit of reading. All of them charge the hotels in particular between a 12 and 15% commission, for the business. Why don't you just go to the website, say, okay, the Hilton's got a room for 200 on Whatif. I'll bring up the Hilton and say, hey, how about I give you $180 cash because that's $10 more than you get from them.
You could probably try that, Vaughan. I haven't tried that, but what I have done is actually compare the prices directly on websites, on the hotel websites in the past, and they just don't tend to be as good as on Expedia. So they do seem to have special deals that they offer to these booking websites.
There you go. If you're luckier than me and you've got a holiday coming up very soon, perhaps to Gallipoli, to try one of those 2 apps that Louis recommended, expedia.co.nz is the way to go. I want to talk really quickly about emoji. Do you use emoji very much?
I use them all the time.
Well, do you know now there's an app called Bitmoji. Bitmoji, it's a free app. You've heard about it. You can make your own total emoji keyboard library to make custom emotion characters based on you. So your facial hair, your glasses, the shape of your hair, the color of your eyes. It's absolutely gorgeous. The name of the app is Bitmoji. It's a free download. It gives you a whole keyboard just of you. I really love it. Hey, the music's playing. That means we're coming to the end of another cracker Sunday Social. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Thank you, my first half guest from Snowball Effect, Josh Daniel, Louis Van Wyk from Pravda Communications, and technical producer Kyron Black. Up next, Graham Hill and the Weekend Variety Wireless. Good night.